Hey, this is Justin from Thy Kingdom Come. Thanks for clicking on this clip. This is a snippet from our most recent podcast episode where we talk about the new kickoff rule. If you're liking anything we're doing or everything we're doing, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way you're notified every time we release new episodes and clips. And as always, remember, Thy Kingdom Come.
Another new rule.
Ooh, I like this
Yeah,
one.
another new rule is the new kickoff rule. Justin, would you kind of talk about this little kickoff rule just for
Okay.
a quick moment?
I've got this. So I think kickoffs have been obsolete for the past 5 years. I think the rule changed in 2018 where they moved the teams around, moved the setup zone and stuff like that. So we are looking at the TV. They're showing the example from the XFL. There's slight differences from the XFL. So let's look at this. When it comes to the new kickoff rule, so the kickoff spot is going to stay the same for the kickers, right? They're going to be at their own 35-yard line. Big difference, the kicking team, 10 players of the kicking team, are going to be on the receiving team's 40-yard line. And then the receiving team will have 7 or more players on their own 35-yard line. And there's a setup zone between their own 35 and their 30 where you can have some players staggered, but 7 players have to be on the line. So 7 people have to be on that 35-yard line. You can have two returners. I mean, theoretically, I think if I read the rule correct, you technically don't need any returners. So you can have technically all 11 guys
From the way that it sounds.
30 to 35-yard line. Not 1,000% sure, but then so your 2 returners are in what's called the landing zone. Okay, the landing zone is from the receiving team's goal line to the 20-yard line. So that being said, the rule is if a kickoff lands short of the landing zone, so I've seen 2 different things. I've seen if it lands short of the receiving team setup line, which is the 35, or short of the landing zone, which is the 20, it'll be treated as an out-of-bounds kick, and the receiving team goes straight to the 40-yard line. Then, if the kickoff lands in the landing zone, and lands in the landing zone and stops, the receiving team has to return it. They can't leave it. And the way I'm looking at it,
So basically, while it sits there, before he touches it, he can which way do I want to go?
Right, exactly. Well, so and I think the way they have it set up is like either until the ball hits the ground or until the receiver catches it, nobody can move, with the exception of the kicker.
Yes, that's correct.
If the ball lands in the landing zone and then ends up in the end zone, so it would be downed in the end zone by the receiving team. Again, this one wasn't quite clear whether the kickoff team could recover in the end zone for a touchdown, or if they touched it in the end zone, if it would be a touchback. It'll go to the 20-yard line. So you're being rewarded for making the ball end up in the end zone. And that's whether it lands in the end zone in the air or bounces in the landing zone and rolls into the end zone. Now, if the ball goes, I'm sorry, that is not true. So it's if the ball rolls into the end zone from the landing zone, it's at the 20-yard line. If the ball lands in the end zone in the air, it goes to the 30-yard line. And then if the ball goes out of the end zone, whether it bounces and rolls or through the air, the ball goes to the 35-yard line. This encourages receivers or return team to return the ball, right? Like a lot of people will probably just wind up kicking the ball short and letting it bounce into that landing zone. Like realistically,
be strategic.
Do super high kicks, something that's not going to bounce out of bounds. It's probably going to be a lot of focus towards the middle of the field. because you don't want it to hit the corner and go through the end zone, and then the other team get it at the 35-yard line. So got to be way more strategic. There are no fair catch signals allowed. I thought there was going to be. Would make sense, but no fair catch signals allowed. And all safeties would kick off from the 20-yard line with the current rule we have now. So I like this.
Yeah, I do. It kind of brings back some of those electrifying athletes on, the kick
Dante
returns.
Hall.
Yeah, you got Devin Hester. You got some of those
Devin
guys
Hester.
that that's what they have done, and so I think this rule gets to get some of those players back into action, which for us this potentially adds maybe a reason why Kadarius Toney can be utilized.